1098, say aye.
Mr. Grassley? Mr. Grassley?
Where?
I'm sorry, I was trying to be recognized.
Go ahead.
Yes. First of all, I want to express at the top a lot of frustration that the DOJ is scraping money back from some states. I've made this point multiple times, but it is very frustrating to me that my state is being denied these type of grants while other states are. We're seeing a big frustration across New Jersey that very thoughtful grants that could be saving lives and being substantively helpful are being denied. And with that frustration, I want to call up an amendment. I'd like to call up my amendment number ALL 25698. Mr. Chairman, this amendment would allow S1098 to take effect on the date when the Attorney General makes public all unclassified files, flight logs, correspondence, and evidence related to Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and their associates. The Department of Justice, we know clearly, has lied to the American people one way or another. Attorney General Bondi said that there were truckloads of evidence from the Epstein files and the Epstein list, leading people to believe that there was criminal activity that they had evidence of. I know Bovee, who we're talking about, was part of this. We found out yesterday that the president is mentioned several times in the Epstein files, and he was briefed on it back in May when he said he was not told that. Then in July, suddenly the DOJ and the FBI said there was nothing additional to disclose. So what's the lie? That there are truckloads of evidence and this DOJ is protecting those associates with this horrific crime? That Mr. Bovee, a Third Circuit nominee, is part of that cover-up? Or is the lie that there is nothing there at all? Let's just find out. This is simply asking for disclosure and transparency, and I'd like to offer that amendment.
Mr. Chair, parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Chair, down here. I don't know the details of the judiciary rules, but is it in order for a member to interrupt the chair when he's in the middle of calling a vote?
I'll have to ask my
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
lawyers on that point.
It's up to the chairman.
What?
It's up to the chairman.
It's up to the chairman, but I'm not going to pick a fight with Booker.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I'd call up a second-degree amendment to Senator Booker's amendment to 1098. This has to do with death penalty as aggravating factors for illegal aliens who commit a homicide in the United States while illegally in the country. I find it astonishing that our colleagues are more interested in the crimes of a dead man than they are in addressing the real problems that affect the public safety of American citizens on a daily basis, and virtually all of which flow from the open border policies of the Biden administration. As we discussed in a subcommittee hearing a couple of days ago, there are more than 200,000 illegal aliens under final orders of deportation who have exhausted all of their remedies under the law and who have either committed crimes or are charged with crimes. And yet we hear from our colleagues here that, well, these are just gardeners or housekeepers or people who are relatively innocent other than having committed the crime of illegally entering the country. But to our colleagues, the intrigue and salacious details of the Epstein case, of course, are a great distraction from the issues that have make a meaningful difference in the lives of ordinary Americans, and what I thought we were here to actually serve, which is their interests. And what do the American people really care about? Well, that President Trump is doing exactly what he promised to do and what he campaigned on from the moment he took to the campaign trail and, of course, has followed through on and kept that promise now he's in office. Let's talk about how President Trump has kept his promises when it comes to making our communities safer by securing the border and enforcing our immigration laws. He promised to restore America's standing in the world And President Trump has kept this promise from making his tax cuts permanent through the One Big Beautiful Bill to trade deals that put America first and stop unfair competition by our adversaries, help lower inflation, lower gas prices, lower food prices. President Trump is delivering on the pocketbook issues that virtually all Americans care about. And let me turn to national security and public safety. He promised to secure the border. Promise made, promise kept. He promised to restore the rule of law and enforce the laws actually on the books, a promise being kept every day by our men and women in blue, our immigration officers and our law enforcement officers in the field. This last hearing, as I indicated earlier, I held a hearing on President Biden's open border policies that led to our country being flooded, literally flooded, by millions of illegal aliens, including among that terrorists and gang members and people who committed heinous crimes against innocent American citizens like Laken Riley. We heard the stories of two angel moms, Tammy Nobles and Marie Vega, both of whom have to live every day with the horrendous murders of their loved ones. They had a few simple questions for us and for law enforcement during the Biden administration. Why didn't the Biden administration do anything to stop criminals from coming into the country? Why didn't President Biden remove the worst criminal aliens that were already in the United States and who kept committing crimes? Not just once, not just twice, but multiple crimes against innocent Americans. Why aren't congressional Democrats more concerned about keeping our communities safe than they are about distractions like the salacious details with regard to a dead man, Jeffrey Epstein? As Ms. Vega told us, no mother should have to bury her child before she dies, and certainly not bury a child because he or she was killed by an illegal alien who should have never been here in the United States in the first place. Yet my colleagues insist there's nothing to see here and that the real crime is President Trump being in office and enforcing the law. They lost the election, fair and square. President Trump received a mandate, and they still haven't accepted the fact that he won the election on November the 5th. Well, I challenge my colleagues to put their money where their mouth is and do right by these angel moms who I mentioned a moment ago. And so this amendment will allow us to truly deal with criminal aliens and illegals who pose a threat to national security and public safety, not just play lip service. It adds mandatory bars to asylum for sex offenders, pedophiles, and aliens who commit crimes of violence. It would punish and deter illegal aliens who murder U.S. citizens by giving federal prosecutors jurisdiction to pursue these illegal alien murderers and guiding judges and juries to pronounce the sentence of death for aliens convicted of murdering U.S. citizens. If my colleagues truly care about public safety, they will vote for my amendment today.
Mr. Chairman.
Before I call on Senator Blumenthal, no, Senator Blumenthal was going to be next. Before I call on him, I'd like to say a couple things. Number one, we're in the middle of a vote, so we may not be able to get these three bills out. Secondly, I know that if we got to go to finality on these amendments, we'll have to do that. But I would beg with the two people that are sponsoring amendments, we're dealing with an opioid overdose bill with the problems we have. It seems like this is a bipartisan bill too, why we should screw this bill up. And I would ask if my colleagues would think about changing their mind on offering the amendment. Senator Blumenthal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I really hope that this issue would be bipartisan, because I think that the American public, regardless of whether they identify as Republicans and Democrats, really believe that full disclosure of these files is absolutely necessary to dispel the doubts about the credibility of the Department of Justice in the Epstein matter. I really believe it's in the interests of the president
You mean?
for there to be full disclosure. And that's the reason why on the House side, there has been bipartisan support for full disclosure of the Epstein files. I really hope there would be here too. Senator Cornyn is right that Jeffrey Epstein is dead, but right now, ongoing in real time, right before our eyes, are events and actions that smack of a cover-up. There ought to be no secret meetings, no secret deals, especially with Trump's personal lawyer, who is now doing his bidding at the Department of Justice, namely Todd Blanche, who reportedly is on his way as we speak to Florida or whatever prison is currently confining Ghislaine Maxwell, possibly to offer her a deal in return for exculpatory information about his former client, the President of the United States. All of it just really stinks. No ordinary person can send their Department of Justice henchmen to some kind of cover-up, talking to a convicted felon in a federal prison. And unfortunately, the appearance here is that President Trump, once again, is misusing his power corruptly to benefit himself. Most people can't do any of it. It is unfair, and it undermines the credibility of our entire criminal justice process. The American people deserve full disclosure of this file. I hope we can have bipartisan agreement.
Senator
Mr.
Durbin.
Chairman,
Mr.
Mr. Chairman,
Well, I should probably go back and forth. Go ahead, and then I'll call on Durbin.
good call. Mr. Chairman, are we under some sort of time limit by which we have to act today?
If we want to get these bills out, the answer is yes. Whenever we lose a quorum because there's a vote going on or the 2-hour rule is kicked in.
How can we go ahead and vote while then allowing everybody else to have their say?
I'll stay around as long as people want to speak.
Could we go ahead and vote?
We
And then
could if-
those who would like to make comments can stay. Would that be okay?
We could. We
Pretty
could vote.
please, with sugar on top?
We could, but I'm not going to have a upheaval like we had.
You won't have a fight with Booker. He's okay with that.
Go ahead. Senator Biden asked for the floor.
But can we do that, Mr. Chairman? That was a question, actually.
I'm going to ask, can we proceed to vote on these amendments and then proceed to vote on the bill?
I have a question on the Cornyn second degree.
But I have a question first.
I'm sorry, I thought you gave up the floor. Go ahead.
No, sir. Can we go ahead and vote on the bills? And then you stay, or whomever else wants to stay, to let everybody finish making their remarks in light of the fact that we have a time limit by which we have to act, and we're in the middle of a vote.
I thought I answered that by saying that I wanted to make sure that we had a consensus that we ought to do that.
There's a vote on the floor. Someone to vote on this.
Can we vote?
I don't hear an objection, Mr. Chairman.
Well, I didn't hear a motion
I make that motion.
Okay.
that we vote. Excuse me, would you restate your motion?
Sure. I move that we go ahead and vote on the matters before us in light of the fact that we're under a time limit.
Clerk will call the
And-
roll.
Thank
No,
you.
no, Mr. Chairman, I think I'd just like to be recognized. I know Senator Durbin and Senator Whitehouse, who outrank me on this committee, have asked to be recognized as well to speak.
I don't want to pick a fight with Mr. Booker either, but I made a motion. Is my motion in order, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, your motion is,
Could we have a vote, Mr. Chairman? Pretty
can I
please?
have a vote? Yes, call the roll.
Thank you.
But we clarify,
debate?
without a discussion on the second degree amendment?
Don't call the roll yet.
Without discussion or debate
On the, you're
on
just,
the motion?
Go ahead, sir.
I don't want to jump over the ranking member.
I'll defer.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
I'm reading that Cornyn second degree, and he said a lot of really important things about immigration that are worthy to be discussed. and I'm happy to vote on an immigration bill. I disagree with the death penalty. I will vote my conscience on this. But I want to draw everybody's attention to the first two lines of your second degree. They have nothing to do about immigration. They have nothing to do with the death penalty. I've never seen this before. His first two line is not to bring up this important issue that should be discussed, debated. Your first two lines are to strike my amendment in its entirety. So what we have right here is hidden behind real issues on immigration is really just trying to not vote on the important points that we brought up about transparency and accountability on the Jeffrey Epstein files. This is not an amendment to my amendment. This is an attempt to strike what I have a whole list of prominent Republicans, elected leaders, who want the same thing I want, which is just to have transparency on this matter.
Can we vote
I've
on
heard
my
some of the
second degree?
comments. If I can finish, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
I have heard public statements by my Senate colleagues on both sides of the aisle. I've heard comments from Republicans on the House side and Democrats on the House side that we want transparency and accountability on a matter of public safety. Senator Cornyn said that Jeffrey Epstein's dead yet, but his victims are not. There are women who have horrific stories of vile violence that was committed against them. We have Pam Bondi, our Attorney General, who said that there is evidence, truckloads of it, as to these crimes, potential co-conspirators, potential others involved. How can we not want to just know what happened? Why are we trying to simply turn away from the highest law enforcement officers in the land, from our FBI director to our attorney general, who spoke towards crimes committed and others involved in those crimes? Why are we considering an amendment that is hiding behind real immigration issues, but real intent is to strike a simple request for transparency, for accountability, that Republican voices all across the spectrum have been demanding from this president and this attorney general? So if Senator Cornyn is going to offer an amendment, I'm going to offer a third degree that simply strikes his first two lines. I'll vote on your immigration stuff that you so strongly stated there was the importance of this, but you hid the fact that you put here the real intention of your amendment. It has nothing to do with immigration. It says it right here in the first two lines. The real effort was just to not have accountability and transparency. What are you afraid of?
Mr. Chairman, may I respond?
Yeah, you may respond.
I trust the Senate-confirmed Attorney General of the United States to make the proper legal analysis to determine what of the Jeffrey Epstein files can be released. He was confirmed by the United States Senate as Chief Law Enforcement Officer of the United States. I trust her to make the right legal determination. But I would ask my colleague from New Jersey, you claim you care about the victims. Do you care about Tammy Nobles? Do you care about Marie Vega, the angel moms who lost their loved ones, their children, to the acts of an illegal alien who never should have been here in the first place? Do you care about them?
Can I respond to the senator's question? Sir, I've known you for 14 years. You and I both care about victims of crime. And to suggest otherwise is stunning to me.
Senator,
if I may finish, sir,
Senator,
I allow you to finish.
I asked
sir,
you a question.
And I'm trying to
I didn't
answer.
make an accusation.
Mr. Chairman,
I asked you a question.
Mr. Chairman.
Answer the question.
I should have allowed a time to respond to the senator's question. I did not interrupt him, and now he's interrupting me.
Please.
It is another violation of the decorum of this place.
Go ahead, Senator Booker.
Senator Cornyn, both you and I have spent our lives. I know your record. I know your history. I know what you've done. I would never, ever question whether you care about the victims of a heinous crime.
Mr. Chairman, please help me.
You ask me if I care? Absolutely.
Thank you.
No, I'm not finished yet.
Well, thank you for answering the question.
Well, I'm going to answer the question in full. You are not sincere.
Let me explain.
Sir, he has put an amendment in
Would you allow
trying
me,
to use the horrific nature
would you
of.
allow me as sponsor of this bill to
Sir,
explain?
I will not pick a fight with Chuck Grassley in the same way that Chuck Grassley won't pick a fight with me.
The reason for his amendment is because your amendment says that this bill that we're working on will not go into effect until we get all these records. And this bill is an opioid bill to help solve some of the drug problems in this country. And we ought to get it passed because it's a bipartisan bill and it's very badly needed.
Sir, may I respond?
Yes.
So I said at the top of my comments, my frustrations, we've said it to your staff, we've said it to others, that when funds like this have been made available so far in the first 6 months, they're clawing back funds from my state. And that's unfair, and I would like to deal with those. We could deal with them. And given that, I am sticking to an amendment that is not controversial. Okay. I know it's not controversial, sir, because I've seen polling literally on Republican channels that the overwhelming majority of Republicans and Democrats want transparency and accountability. That the overwhelming majority of Americans has seen that one of these two things is lies. Is there truckloads full of evidence as to victims of crime not having justice? Have we been lied to? Who are we trying to protect? What are they trying to hide? This is not controversial. We have Republican leaders in Congress calling for the same thing that this amendment calls for. And so for a second degree to be offered to mine, where you're using horrific crimes to hide the real intention of this, if this amendment is so important, just strike the first two lines that strikes my entire amendment. The intention of this is clear. It's to not give the American people accountability, transparency, and truth. That's what we as the Judiciary Committee should be seeking. So I offer a third degree amendment, preserving every noble thing that the senator from Texas said he wanted.
You can't offer a third degree amendment.
I can't offer a third degree. Then I ask that we strike the true intention of his amendment, the first two lines.
At this stage, you can't offer a third degree amendment. If there's some way for you to do that, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, may I respond?
Yes.
Briefly?
Then we'll have a roll call vote because I know you folks want to get votes on your amendment. I asked you to withdraw them and you aren't withdrawing them. So
Well, I just want to ask a question, Mr. Chairman. In your opinion, would the addition of these amendments to the underlying bipartisan bill jeopardize our ability to pass this underlying bill, anti-opioid bill, out of committee and across the Senate floor and get it enacted into law? Would these amendments jeopardize that?
I see them jeopardized in ways even beyond what you said.
So,
Because if we pass the legislation with this stuff on, it wouldn't go into effect anyway. Who knows how far down the road? When the president signs the bill, I want it to be effective.
that's what I thought, and I appreciate your answering the question. I think the debate that Senator Booker and I have is not something that's going to be resolved today. And so it will continue. So I think regardless of how we act on the underlying bill, that debate will continue, and neither he nor I are giving anything up in terms of our ability to continue to debate this topic. But I'm willing to withdraw my amendment if Senator Booker's willing to withdraw his amendment in the interest of passing this bipartisan anti-opioid bill out of the committee and through the Senate and seeing it enacted into law and hopefully saving some lives in the process.
Senator Booker.
Mr. Grassley, sir, I have asked for someone to address my New Jersey concerns for months now. There was an incident in which you got a special carve-out for your state when they froze funds, but I have got no justice for New Jersey. So if you want to postpone this and address my New Jersey concerns about the resources we are not getting, and I know you would do that with me in good faith, I would be happy in our next meeting, but right now I am sticking with my amendment.
It'd be faster to address your concerns for New Jersey if you'd asked me to help you with the administration to get something done so you can get your money.
Sir, I've got not from you.
Then if you do it through the legislative process, tell me that. Let me make a conversation with the White House on your issue.
But I'm going to stick with my amendment until I get satisfaction on that.
The clerk will call the roll.
What are we voting on? I have no idea. On my amendment?
No, we're voting.
It's the second degree.
Call the roll on the Cornyn amendment.
Mr. Grant.
Aye.
Mr. Cornyn.
Aye.
Mr. Lee.
Aye.
Mr. Cruz. Aye. Mr. Hawley. Aye. Mr. Tillis. Aye. Mr. Kennedy.
Aye by proxy.
Mrs. Blackburn.
Aye by proxy.
Mr. Schmidt. Aye.
No.
Mrs. Britt.
Aye by proxy.
Mrs. Moody. Aye. Mr. Durbin.
No on concealing the Epstein files.
Mr. Whitehouse.
No.
Ms. Klobuchar.
No by proxy.
Mr. Cruz.
No by proxy.
Mr. Blumenthal.
I vote no because I vote no on concealing the Epstein file.
Ms. Romano.
No by proxy.
Okay.
Mr. Booker.
I vote no on this effort to conceal the Epstein files.
Mr. Padilla.
Mr.
Mr. Welch.
No. I'd like the Epstein files.
Mr. Schitt.
No on concealing the Epstein files.
Chairman Grassley.
Aye.
On this vote, the ayes are 12, the nays are 10.
Okay, the Cornyn amendment is adopted. Now we will go to the clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Chairman, point of order. So his second degree, which had nothing to do with immigration, which was to conceal the Epstein file, Senator Cornyn's effort to conceal the Epstein files right here on 1 and 2 has now violated my amendment. There is no amendment anymore. It passed.
That's right.
And Cornyn is saying, yes, I did something to stop the American public from seeing the Epstein files. It renders my amendment moot. That was the intention of Senator Cornyn's amendment that he just passed, which was to conceal
Chairman, I
the.
have to respond. Nothing we are voting on today is going to change any of the debate about the Epstein files.
Is
That
that a
debate will continue.
That is not
And if
true.
you don't acknowledge that, I just have to, I really question whether your amendment is actually in good faith or not, because nothing's going to change that. But, Mr. Chairman, my second degree amendment passed, which included striking the Senator Booker's amendment. I believe we've, committee's spoken.
May I respond? He directly referenced me. May I respond? Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
So Mr. Cornyn claims that nothing about this would end debate. We're not seeking to end debate. We're seeking to pass legislation out of this committee that would force the disclosure and the transparency and the truth being made public. We had a chance today that Senator Cornyn blocked to make the truth known to the American public. We had the power today, the possibility today, to force out the truth regarding the Epstein files and the lies and the obfuscation that is happening by this administration. What Senator Cornyn did today was to block the truth about what's happening with the Department of Justice and the Epstein file. It is that on its plain truth, no matter how much he wants to try to dodge that truth.
Mr. Chairman, I have to respond.
Well, quickly, because
I
Graham
will
wants to
respond
speak.
quickly.
Take your time.
What Senator Booker is trying to do is to kill this underlying bipartisan bill that will hopefully save hundreds, maybe thousands of lives because of the opioid crisis. It's already taken tens of thousands of lives in this country over recent years because of the Biden open border policies. So I'm simply trying to preserve this bipartisan legislation, again, that will save lives. The debate that he and I are having over the Epstein files, I doubt will be resolved today based on any amendments either he or I offer. So that's the reason for my amendment, because I want to save lives from the opioid crisis. And I believe his amendment is a distraction from that and actually will jeopardize seeing this bipartisan legislation enacted into law.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you,
Mr. Chairman, may I respond?
No, I'm calling on Grant.
I thought you were going back and forth, sir. I didn't know that.
I'll be real quick. So if Senator Booker's problem is with the bill itself, which it seems to be, I understand that. Hopefully we can work out a way to get money to your state you think does justice for New Jersey. I got that. That makes perfect sense. But the Epstein amendment, present it some other way, it's not going away. What we're trying to do with this bill is really good. And there's no end to this, a way of doing business here. If this is a headline about Cornyn blocks transparency of Epstein, then that would be sad, because he's responding to your amendment that would make the bill, quite frankly, fail. I want to help Senator Booker with your problem, but what you're doing, I don't think is helpful to the bill. I don't think it's helpful to the committee. I don't think it's helpful to your problem.
Senator Graham, there's not been a time in my career where you said you want to help me that you didn't. So I'm going to take you up on that, and I'm going to withdraw.
I'll be glad to.
And I'm going to withdraw my amendment.
You're a good man, and I will try to deliver with Senator Grassley the best I can.
Mr. Chairman, I would also ask leave to withdraw my amendment and vote on the underlying bill.
Those in favor of 1098, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say no. The 1098 is reported. Now, the last bill that we have on the agenda is the Child Act. I co-lead this bill with Senator Durbin. The bill ensures that all individuals with unsupervised access to children is authorized to receive nationwide background checks. I'd like to recognize the bill's lead sponsor, Senator Durbin. I think you already spoke on it, did you? Yeah. Those in favor of 1528, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say no. The ayes have it. The bill will be reported and the committee's adjourned. Thank you.